What is up, Crossing
Hi,
students?
guys. I know.
How
We
many of
have
y'all know the
candy.
truth about M&Ms, that the mini M&Ms are better than normal M&Ms? Come on.
If you haven't been to the Snack Shack yet, well, it's closed, but we had mini M&Ms.
Lauren
tonight.
got mini M&Ms for the Snack Shack. Come on. How good is that? That's great.
Trying to be different, you know.
You can't have them right now. We're going to give them out in a minute, all right? But how many of y'all are excited to be here tonight?
All right. That front
This-
row.
This back row of high school boys over here, they're just like, dude, just get off the stage.
Literally. They don't even.
Hey, I
want what
love
we
you
have.
guys, though. Thanks for being here. All right, hey, as you guys still trickle in, as you're getting ready, can we play a game tonight, Lauren?
I think they deserve one. They
Can
deserve to let loose a little.
Can we give away candy tonight? Okay, there you go.
That
There
you
go.
won't spill and leave a mess. Like,
Yes,
okay.
we're not going to leave it here, but all right, I am going to. Wow, this front row is off
They
the
got
charts.
energy.
I'm about to explain this game, okay? I'm going to explain the game, and then Lauren's going to
Yep.
start the game. So here's
Okay.
how this is going to work. We got a trivia game based out of 2021, okay? So we're going to ask you some questions about 2021, which means you get to answer. We're going to make this simple. So first person to run up and tell me or Lauren the correct answer will get the candy, right?
Correct.
But here's the deal. Because I know all you sitting in the back row are like, I'm not participating because these little kids in the front have 5 steps to get there. All right? So, plus
got
they're also
rules.
6th graders, so they move faster than all of you. But you also don't see them move because they're so small. But we are going to have specific groups that can answer each question. Okay? So hypothetically, I would say every girl can answer this question. So only girls get to run up and answer the question. Got it?
Correct.
Or we could say something like, only 6th graders get to answer this question. Then only 6th graders. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Back row people, does that make sense? Great. So you all will have a chance to answer at least one question. Some of
Yes.
you more.
Yes, and it's trivia from 2021.
2021.
Yes.
So y'all should know,
Y'all
unless
should
you've
know it.
already blocked out 2021 like most of us have.
Yeah.
But
It's me.
I'm going to pass it to
All right.
Lauren to go for our first question. So remember, you have to come up here and tell me or Lauren the correct answer.
Yes. So I need any girl in the room, any grade, but you have to be a girl, okay? The question is, what was the #1 streamed song of 2021? Go. Number one streamed song.
Good for you is not a correct answer.
Not good for you.
Oh, I got
Oh,
two.
oh, oh.
I got two runners.
All right, run. Yes, driver's license.
She said it before you. I heard her say it before you.
You're welcome.
All right. What did you just give away? Sour Patch
She got
Punch?
Sour Patch
Punch
Extremes.
Sour Punch Patch Extremes.
Patch Punch.
Did you know that was a thing?
Same
I
thing.
didn't. All right, I got the next one. So here we go. This is middle school only. Boy or girl, middle school only. What did Canada face a shortage of in 2021?
Vaccines.
Neither of those are correct.
Maple syrup, right here.
Amir beat you. I'm so
Maple
sorry. Amir said
syrup.
maple
You
syrup
go.
before you did. How did you? I heard toilet paper and vaccines. Those were not the right answer. They actually ran out of maple syrup, apparently.
That was America, guys. Toilet paper was
That was
America.
America. We live in America.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, you got the
Yes,
next one.
next one. We have, I need boys only, any grade. What was the number one movie of the summer? Yeah, you guys gotta come
2021.
up here. Up here.
No.
Nope.
No.
Not the answer.
Spider-Man came out in 2022. No. Ron Gone Wrong is also not correct. Boys. Oh, come on. Nolan,
No way.
you were here for rehearsal. No. Sonic the Hedgehog is incorrect. I think Nolan just gave you the answer, so what's the answer? The answer is Black Widow.
Black Widow. My goodness. All right, you got the next
All right,
one.
you got the next one. I did not expect them to struggle that long on that, but it's okay.
You got the next one.
Oh, I got the next
You
one.
got the
High school only, all right? High school only. Ready? Boy or girl? Who was named Time Magazine 2021 Person of the Year? High school only.
No. You said Harry Styles. It's not Harry Styles. Huh? No, not Vogue. Elon Musk.
Oh my gosh, you all four said it, but I
go,
think
though.
she said it first.
She got it, guys.
Seon, you were walking from the back row. What are you doing? All right, hey, how about for this next one, we just give them one Reese's?
Oh, I don't. This one's an easy one, so y'all gotta run, okay? All right, this is to middle school only. Who was the top YouTube creator of 2021? They got it. I told y'all that was an easy one.
My favorite thing is that a 6th grade boy runs up and he took the one Reese's, just not even questioning it. Like the open one that was in my hand. So here we
6th grade
are.
boy, makes sense.
Hey, but
makes
I'm going to
sense.
give you this Kit Kat as well. And then one of you can also have this Reese's. Whoa! All right. I got another.
All right, guys, hey.
Boys,
Get
what
up,
are you
get up,
doing?
Get up.
Get up.
Hey,
Cole, get up. All right, we got two more. And the
right.
last two are going to be both high school. But for this first one, it is 9th and 10th graders only. All right? How many of you are 9th or 10th grade? There you go. You are not 9th or 10th grade. All right, this one is which meme took over the world by storm in January 2021? January. Oh, she looks like she's got it.
Run! There's someone
Oh.
behind you. Yes.
Oh,
Bernie-
she got it. Bernie Sanders.
There we go.
And his mittens. I didn't get Austin a
Bella
picture.
won
I'm
twice,
so sorry. I
guys.
forgot
Bella's
about that.
educated.
All right, Lauren, you got the last one.
All right, last one. 11th and 12th graders only, okay? Any gender. What famous 90s sitcom had a reunion show?
Oh, Seon's running. He's got
All
it.
right.
Friends. Friends. Wow. Look at that. You didn't think anyone would know those answers.
I really didn't, guys. I only knew Elon Musk, so that was the only
That's funny.
answer I knew.
That's
So,
okay. Well, hey, here's the deal. We gave you all candy. Thank you so much for playing. But here's the deal. I don't want to see that trash on the floor.
pick it
Is
up.
everybody
Pick it up.
listening? Because I pick up like a half bag of trash every single Wednesday, okay? So be nice. Just pick up your trash. I don't want to pick up your spilt water. I don't want to pick up your half-drank sodas. I don't want to pick up one Fruit Loop, which happened one time. I don't know
We
how.
did do a
I
cereal
don't think
bar
we even
once.
give away
We
Fruit
did a
Loops.
cereal bar.
Yeah, we did a cereal bar. I picked up a Fruit Loop. That was the worst. But hey, we got something coming up. How many of y'all are registered for Winter Retreat?
all your hands should be raised.
Wow.
And if it's not,
Some of
then
you are
why?
just lame.
Lame. You're
So-
just lame.
All right, but here's the deal. Listen up, because if you are not signed up for Winter Retreat, you can't sign up after midnight tonight. It's done. Like, it's closed after midnight tonight. So what that means is if you want to go to Winter Retreat and you are not signed up, all you got to do is point your phone at the little screen down there. When it pops up, you open it, and then you send that link to your parents. All they got to do is put down $25, and then they can pay the rest later. So get signed up. We've got a few spots left, but
If
we want
money's
to
a
make sure you
problem,
sign
talk
up.
to us.
If
Like,
money
we
is
want
an
you to
issue,
come.
talk to us.
Yeah.
All right? So get signed up. But here's the deal. We have a Winter
giveaway.
Retreat giveaway.
Yes, for someone who is signed up.
Someone who's signed
and
up.
it is a complete package
What do
of
we- I'll hold
everything.
it. What do we
thank you.
have?
Of everything you will need at Winter Retreat. We
Okay.
have a really nice just journal. I mean,
look
it's
at that.
so
Take
nice.
notes.
And then a really cool Bible. You know,
Look at
all
that.
of you should have one. I mean, a dope set of pins. These are my favorite pins. Good job, Michaela, for choosing that. And then we have $15 Taco Bell and $15 to Cane's. Because we're going to be having
on.
Cane's and we're going to have
And
a
have
taco
tacos.
truck. So this will be everything you will need at Winter Treat. And so the winner is,
Oh.
I need a drum roll.
Drum roll. Somebody give me a drum roll. This is somebody who has already signed up.
Already
and
signed up.
next week, we are going to be giving away exclusive sweatshirts and T-shirts that
Merch.
only have 3 of them.
Yes,
3
it's
ever.
exclusive.
But you have to be signed up to win
You
it.
have to be
Anyway,
signed up.
back to this person.
Okay, so where's my drum roll? I need my drum roll. I need Derek Macaulay. I hope I said your last name right. Derek?
Is Derek
here?
Macaulay here?
Is he?
He's not here, but his mom is
Oh,
Erica.
his mom-
So should we give it to Erica?
I think we should give it to Erica.
Okay, we're gonna give it to
We should give it
Erica. We're going to give it to her
Yay,
to
Derek.
give to her son. So,
Yes.
hey, everybody give a round of applause to Derek. It's mom.
It's Eric's.
All right, hey.
Awesome.
Seriously, get signed up. It's going to be a weekend you don't want to miss. It's going to be tons of fun. We're also starting our Twitch stream at midnight.
Yes, we will be streaming
At
all
midnight
night long.
on February 4th. That's, whoa.
Oh.
From 2 a,
I don't have the right
12 to
information.
2 a.m. on the night of Winter
12 to
Retreat.
2.
But, hey,
Where
other
was
than that, thank you for being here. Please welcome TCS Worship.
All right, y'all, let's stand. 1 John 4:19 says, we love because he first loved us. So let that be a reminder as we sing this next song together. Here we go. Staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. And suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized here with you. Here we go, y'all. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. Go, it's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. Here we go. This is real love, this is real love. Yeah. Y'all go wild, this is real love, this is real love. Everybody dance. You're pulling me closer, you're pulling me closer and closer. Holding my heart till the very end. But Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. Now this is real love, this is real love. In your heart, I'm found. I want you, I want you. You won't let me down. Yeah, you got me, you got me. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. Oh, more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. But this is real love, this is real love. Oh. And we sing, you're pulling me closer and closer, y'all. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. Valley, we sing. And staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. And suddenly brought to life when I met you. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, let's go. This is for love. This is for love. Yeah. And this is for love. This is for love. Oh. Well, the joy of the Lord is our strength. And we sing, you're pulling me closer. You're pulling me closer and closer. And holding my heart to the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. Now this is for love. This is for love. This is for love. Overhead.
Come on, let's keep this party going. Come on, put your hands on it. Come on. I don't see some of y'all clapping. And you looking at me. Come on. I don't see you clapping. Okay. Come on, Charlotte.
When I'm in the roughest water, I won't go under, I won't drown. When I'm in over my head, I know that you won't let me down. And when I'm broken and down to nothing,
Sing it out.
I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way wherever it takes. There's nothing your love won't ignore. I know that you are always up to something good. Even through the deepest valley, you go before me. You are. For I know you'll never leave me. Your love surrounds me. I won't fear when I'm broken and down to nothing. I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way
I just want to share a quick verse. Psalm 133 says, how good and pleasant it is when God's people come together and dwell in unity. And that's what we're doing right now. Y'all, love y'all. Y'all can take a seat.
All right, good evening. You guys good? How we doing? There we go. There we go. There we go. Welcome back. My name's Jeff. I get to be, man, just to hear, I love doing this each and every week. I love seeing your faces. I love that we get to do Wednesday nights, that you guys are here, that you're taking time. I know you guys got busy things, schedules, sports, summer, in season, out of season, but you come. And so thanks for being here, especially those of you that are brand new, because we're in a new series. It's called 10 Times Better, and it's a series on wisdom, but we're going to break that down a little bit, but I just have I'm going to throw out a question maybe or two to you all, and I need a response based on maybe a show of hands. How many of you have ever had a problem? Okay, right. How many of you, by show of hands, have ever had a problem that you needed help solving? Math. It's good. That's good. That's good. Throws me off a little bit. That's good. How many of you would say, right, that by show of hands, how many of you would say that you had a problem in which, man, this thing kept you up later than what it should, or woke you up earlier than what it should? Oh my gosh. Okay, I got you. All right. Now, okay, put your hands up. I think we're all pretty much the same. Right? We all admit that we have issues, that we have problems. Now, I think there's a lot of things that I've learned in my life, but I think none more than being married. Like, as married life can bring a lot of, I guess, would you say, problems. It's a lot of fun, but it can bring a lot of problems. Because here's the thing, you get married, and this first year or so, everything's great, honeymoon, you're doing married people things a lot. It's just fun, right? The whole thing is just fun. It's just married, it's great, it's beautiful. Year 1, year 2, and all of a sudden, it's like, okay, maybe you still have to maybe get a different job. So things start to change a little bit, maybe schedules. You add in a kid, maybe 2, maybe 3. And all of a sudden, it's like, wait a second, who is this person that I married? I'm just confused. I'm just a little bit lost. Because we, at least in my case, we started to change. We became different people. Because the woman that I married, I thought was the same woman about a year or 2 ago. We're going on 11 years of marriage, and in my brain, when I first got married, I was like, well, this will always be the same. We'll never change. We'll grow together, grow old together. Everything's going to be hunky-dory, lovey-dovey, kissy, hug. It's all great. But it doesn't work out that way because you start adding people into the mix, kids into the mix, different lifestyles. All these different things create problems. But for me, it was like, what are we going to do? Because if you don't, maybe some of you don't know me too well, but I freak out. So when there's an issue, I can really freak out in my head, oh crap, we're going to get divorced. The kids aren't going to love me. She's going to get the kids, but I really want the kids. How's this going to work? Are they going to be offended? Are they going to go to counseling? I just start to wig out because all of a sudden my wife and I aren't on the same page. But the question I had to keep asking myself was, we need help, but who are we going to ask? Who are we going to ask? And I think for some of us in the room, we could say that same issue. There's problems that we have. There's things that we face, but who are we going to ask about these issues? Who are we going to ask about these problems? And so for the next few moments here, I want us to reflect on that, but I want us to keep this thought in mind as we think about that question, who are we asking? But it's the answers that we seek that hinge upon who we ask. Think about that. The answers we seek hinge upon who we ask. So I'll throw that question out to you again. You have a problem, you have an issue, but who are you asking in those situations? Today, as we continue in the story of Daniel, we're going to see a few characters that come to mind, and we're going to see what they did in the middle of their issues. So let's break this down. Here we go. It says, chapter 2, verse 1, it says, one night during the second year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream that disturbed him so much that he couldn't sleep. So he called in his magicians, his enchanters, his sorcerers, his astrologers, and he demanded that they tell him what he had dreamed. And as they stood before the king, he said, I have had a dream that troubles me. Tell me what I dreamed, for I must know what it means. So a few things to know, which I love, a few things to know. So I want to keep this in mind here. A few things, where are you at? Number one, he needs help. Number two, he wants help right now. Number three, the text almost indicates that these people were in place to help him from the jump, from the get-go. That these people were in his life, these magicians, these sorcerers, these enchanters, whoever, these people were designed to be his advisors. But number four, and here's the thing I really want to focus on for a little bit, is that I learned through this passage that this idea of enchanters and sorcerers and magicians, do the math. This is taking place in 600 BC. So over 2,600 years ago, what I thought was new, but it's actually pretty old, this idea of sorcerers, maybe people who read tarot cards, maybe people who tell, I don't know, like they're not prophets, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought, psychics. All these people that I thought were like, this is kind of new, kind of like new age, is this? But it's always been in existence. It's always been around. And these are the kind of people, the sorcerers, the enchanters, the tarot card people, like all these different, this idea of like we worship these different things, these things that just poof come out of nowhere. And let me tell you what's going on with your life. Step behind the curtain, step behind the door. Those are his people, but they've been around for some time. So keep that in mind as we continue on. So he's got this problem. But the astrologers, right? The astrologers, they answered him, the king in Aramaic, and they said, long live the king. Tell us the dream, and we will tell you what it means. So Nebuchadnezzar's trying to like, hey, listen, like I need you, I've got an issue. I've got a problem. So here's what I want you to do. And this sounds bizarre, this sounds crazy, and I don't care how crazy it sounds. I'm not gonna tell you what my dream was. You tell me what the dream was, but also tell me what it means. So the king said to the astrologers, I'm serious. If you don't tell me what the dream was and what it means, I'm going to tear you limb from limb, and your houses will be demolished into heaps of rubble. But if you tell me what I dreamed and what the dream means, I will give you many wonderful gifts and honors. Just tell me the dream and what it means. And they said again, please, your majesty, tell us the dream and what it means. But the king replied, I can see through your trick. You were trying to stall for a time because you know I am serious about what I said. If you don't tell me the dream, you will be condemned, and you have conspired to tell me lies in hopes that something will change. But tell me the dream, and then I will know that you can tell me what it means. Let's break down those 5 verses. Nebuchadnezzar is angry. He's angry, and rightfully so. These enchanters, these sorcerers, these readers, if you will, these fortune tellers, these horoscope readers, if you will, they're supposed to be paid to do a certain job. They're given this job for a reason. But now when it's up against the backs are up against the wall, and they can actually do what they're actually paid to do, for some reason, they can't get there. For some reason, they can't really figure it out. So Nebuchadnezzar's right. They're stalling. They're sort of like going up like almost like tongue-tied, like, well, we trying to figure it out, but there's no way. And he knows it, he realizes it. Because they were supposed to do something, hired to do a job that they could not do. But let me throw that question back your way a little bit. Have you ever wanted counsel or wanted advice, but as you're talking to someone or talking to an individual, they look at you and you're looking at them like, you don't know what you're talking about at all. Like, you sound like an idiot. What are you saying? Or have you ever been in a spot where you know, as you're looking at them, like, you're making me angry because now you're just making this up. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're saying. Picture that incident, picture that person, because that's the face Nebuchadnezzar has in this moment. And he has every right to be upset. So here's what he does. Scripture tells us that he decided, you know what? The scripture tells us that he's going to kill them. But first he says this. They reply to the king, there is not a man alive who can tell your majesty this dream. And they're right. There's not one man alive. This is impossible. You are asking something that is unrealistic. And no king, they say, however great and powerful, has ever asked such a thing of any magician, enchanter, or astrologer. This is an impossible thing that the king requires. No one except the gods can tell you your dream, and they do not live among the people. Finally, a straight up, real answer. They're telling the truth. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're talking about. We can't predict the future. We can't tell you these different things. You come into our tent, you step into our office, and we'll just give you these things. We just read your mind. We're really full of it. And they know it. And they're caught. So what does Nebuchadnezzar do? He issues an order, issues a decree. Every magician, every enchanter, every sorcerer, every single person in this field, this wise man, if you will, he says, you know what? They're all dying. Get them all together. They're all going to die. But this is where Daniel comes into play. Because if you remember last week when Robert spoke, we talked about a man by the name of Daniel who Nebuchadnezzar actually appointed to be someone who was looked after, someone who was in charge, because it tells us in verse 11 that Daniel had become favorable with the king, and he said, test us for these 10 days in regards to what we're eating, and we'll see if this is right. We'll see if this is correct. So they're judging all this junk food versus the Daniel fast, the junk food versus what Daniel's eating, the junk food pretty much what the Lord's asking Daniel to eat. And Nebuchadnezzar realizes Daniel's a smart person. So Daniel, because he's so wise and is proven to be wise in this situation, he's appointed above all the other wise men. But Daniel is now included in the wise men that Nebuchadnezzar wants to kill, because these enchanters, these posers, these fakers, these sorcerers have pretty much put them all in one box. And now we have an issue. But Daniel comes to play. He comes into the picture. And he says, hey, what's going on? Why are they trying to kill us? But he asks for a word with the king. He knows they're about to die. He knows that something's going to happen. But he says, let me get a moment with the king. And he says this. Where is it? Don't miss that. He went at once to see the king. And it says that he requested one more time so he could tell the king what the dream meant. But then Daniel went home, and he told his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, what had happened. He urged them to ask God of heaven to show them his mercy by telling them the secret, so they would not be executed along with the other wise men of Babylon. That night, the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision, and then Daniel praised the God of heaven. If you look at verse 16, if you go back to that slide, it says, Daniel went at once to see the king, so he could tell the king what the dream meant. But if you look at that closely, it's pretty much the king is saying, you know what, Daniel, I'm going to give you your time. I'm going to give you your space here. I'm going to give you just pause a little bit. It's okay. Daniel knows that I can't figure this out. So Daniel's asking for more time. But if you look at what he had said, the king had said earlier to the astrologers, to the enchanters, to the sorcerers, he's impatient. He's upset. He's like, what are you doing? What are you saying? I want the answers now. But here's a side note. Real wisdom takes time. Real wisdom is about patience. Wisdom, sometimes the wisdom you need requires more time than you want. Wisdom is patient, it's thoughtful, it's intentional, it's unrushed. Sometimes wisdom requires more questions or comments like, tell me more about that. Let's wait a minute. Let's sleep on it. And Daniel knew this. Wisdom isn't rushed. Wisdom isn't designed to say, like, you send me a text, I'll shoot you a text back. You send me a question, I can shoot you an answer back. Wisdom sometimes pause, breathe. Let's sleep on it a bit. And Daniel's got the kind of wisdom. So what does he do? He knows. Let me go talk to the Lord. Let me have a conversation with the Lord. And that he does. And because he did that, the Lord reveals to him exactly what Nebuchadnezzar had dreamed. So we'll pick it up right there. It says this. Daniel replied to the king, you are correct in saying that there are no wise men, there are no enchanters, there are no magicians or fortune tellers who can tell the king such things. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he has shown the king Nebuchadnezzar what will happen in the future. Now I will tell you your dream and the visions you saw as you lay in your bed. So Daniel's figured out one thing. The enchanters, the sorcerers, the magicians said that only the gods know, but they're incorrect. It's not that the gods know, but there is a God who does know. There's a God who does reveal. There is a God who can see it all. And so he unpacks it. He says this. Here's the dream. While your majesty was sleeping, you dreamed about upcoming events. The revealer of mysteries has shown you what is going to happen. And it is not because I am wiser than any living person that I know the secret of your dream, but because God wanted you to understand what you were thinking. In your dream, your majesty, in your vision, you saw in front of you a huge, powerful statue of a man, shining brilliantly, frightening and awesome. The head of the statue was made of gold, Its chest were arms of silver. Its belly and thighs were of bronze. Its legs were of iron. And its feet were a combination of iron and clay. But as you watched, a rock was cut from a mountain by supernatural means. It struck the feet of the iron and clay, smashing them into bits, and the whole statue collapsed into a heap of iron, clay, bronze, silver, and gold. The pieces were crushed as small as the shaft from the threshing floor, and the wind blew them all away without a trace. But the rock that knocked the statue down became a great mountain that covered the whole earth. Come again? What? If you read that, you're like, you were upset about some bronze, gold, and silver. You're that upset. Bronze, gold, and silver. That was the dream. But what's even more important here, what's more beautiful, is what the dream meant. It says this. Let me tell you about that dream. Your Majesty, you are a king over the many kings. The God of heaven has given you sovereignty. He's given you power, strength, and honor. He has made you the ruler over all the inhabited world and has put even the animals and birds under your control. You are the head of gold. But after your kingdom comes to an end, another great kingdom inferior to yours will rise to take your place. After that, another kingdom has fallen. A third great kingdom will rise, represented by the bronze. But following that kingdom, there will be a fourth great kingdom as strong as iron, and that kingdom will smash and crush all previous empires, just as iron smashes and crushes everything it strikes. The feet and toes you saw that were a combination of iron and clay show that this kingdom will be divided. Some parts of it will be as strong as iron, and others as weak as clay. This mixture of iron and clay also shows that these kingdoms will try to strengthen themselves by forming alliances with each other through intermarriage. But this will not succeed, just as iron and clay do not mix. So I'm like, what's happening? Break this down. Here it is. Nebuchadnezzar in 600 BC has a dream about 4 different kingdoms. Number 1, the kingdom that he's running right now, Babylonia. That's the first empire. That's the head of gold. Number 2, Daniel sees the second kingdom that's going to take over Babylonia. That was the Persian Empire. Number 3, he sees the third kingdom which would take over the Persian Empire, which would be the Greek Empire. The Greek Empire would then be overrun by the fourth empire, which was the Roman Empire. But all 4 of those empires would be crushed by this small stone, by this small kingdom that was not man-made, but rather it was from God himself, meaning that rock that's represented in this passage is Jesus. Now, how would he have known that? How would he have known that? How would he have seen such a thing? It's because where Daniel stood, he stood with the Lord. The insight God gave him was futuristic. It was other. It was something that no one had ever seen, no one had ever heard. And because of that, that's what made him so wise. That's what made him so great. Some scholars would even say that there's no way this book was written. There's no way this could possibly even be true, because all 4 of those things actually did happen. If you look at your history books, and you do it, the Persian Empire defeated the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Persians, the Romans, the Greeks, and then Christ, which was established. Christ was born during the Roman government. That's when he began and established his kingdom, right then and there. But Nebuchadnezzar, he's absolutely blown away. And Daniel says this in verse 44. It's during those reigns that God of the heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, and no one will ever conquer it. It will shatter all these kingdoms into nothingness, but it will stand forever. That is the meaning of the rock from the mountain by supernatural means, crushing to dust the statue of iron, bronze, clay, and gold. The great God has shown your majesty, you, the king, what will happen in the future. The dream is true, and its meaning is certain. Mic drop. Daniel has talked to the king. He's had this conversation with the king. The king has resorted to all sorts of different people and things and sorcery and rocks and whatever. But Daniel's defeated it, and Daniel's understood that this is actually what is true. This is actually the meaning behind it. You look at the idea of stone. When you look at the idea of stone in Scripture, well, how could that stone be Jesus? How could that really, you look at all these different Psalms. I think it's Psalm, what's the first one? Psalm, is it 118? Throw that up there. Or Isaiah 8:14. He will be a stone that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall. Next one. It says a stone that the stone that the builders rejected has now become the cornerstone. Next one. May the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be pleasing to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. How could Daniel, Jesus doesn't exist yet, talk about a stone that would be plucked, that would destroy nation after nation after nation, do away with it, but last forever? In that moment, what you're going to read tonight in groups, you're going to see how Nebuchadnezzar responded. You're going to get a chance to say, like, man, like, what did he do, and how did that all work out? Because of that response, because of what Daniel was able to offer him, it gave Nebuchadnezzar a different outlook on his life. All because he chose who to ask in the right context. He realized that, okay, Daniel might be the guy. Daniel. I told you about my marriage earlier because in my brain, literally, who are we going to ask? So my wife and I have gone through a couple rounds of counseling, and it's been wonderful. Because when you see a counselor, and when you see someone who actually knows what they're talking about, they help you see things maybe a little bit differently. So my wife, who I thought was like, I was like, gosh, like, I don't know, like it's gonna end in divorce and all this other stuff I'm freaking out about. Now you get back to the good old days, flirting, huggy-lovey. I walk out of the house, you say, hey, daddy, who's that? Hey, listen, you love me, it's okay. You don't have to say it, but you love me. But I can get back to joking, get back to playing, all because who we decided to ask, who we decided to talk to, who we decided to have a conversation with, it was important because we sought the right counsel. But who are you asking? Who are you talking to about certain conversations, about certain, I guess, topics, if you will? For some of us, it's as simple as we go to our social media. Let me see these influencers on TikTok. They got so much to say. Yeah. We go to Instagram. Smiles, everything's all good. We check out the news and we sit there, newsfeed after newsfeed after newsfeed. Well, I'm going to hear from well, they're supposed to tell me the truth. Well, okay. Really? Who are you asking for advice? Who are you asking when it comes to your friendships? Who are you asking when it comes to love? Who are you asking when it comes to dating? Who are you asking when it comes to simple advice? Who are you asking when it comes to your mom and dad issues? Who are you asking when a friend like just betrays you? Who are you asking when you just feel off, when you feel depressed, when you feel like lonely? Like, who are you talking to? Who are you asking? Because it matters. We can try and rely on these other things, these other objects, these other, oh, here's the card, or here's the crystal, or here's this, whatever it may be. Here's the astrologer. Here's my sign. My horoscope says this today. This is how I should feel today. What? Who are you asking? A star can't tell you a lot about your life. Probably nothing. These other things that we have can't tell you a lot about your life. But who are you asking? Because if you were to talk to the stone, the cornerstone, the rock in Jesus Christ, if you're asking him and people that are of him, there's a certain amount of wisdom that comes with that. And Nebuchadnezzar had to learn that somewhat, I guess, the hard way. But he learned it anyways. So I want you to think about this. Some of us seek counsel, but we have a wonderful counselor in Jesus. Some of us seek the stars, look to the stars, but we have the morning star in Jesus Christ. Some of us, it's rocks, it's stones, but we have the rock, the Redeemer in Jesus Christ. We have the cornerstone. If you know what a cornerstone, it's the first piece of a foundation that sets the direction, sets the angle, this is how we are building this thing. If we build on it, We build on this cornerstone, the right stone. Everything else is perfect. Any building has a cornerstone because that's the structural part that makes it come together. That's what makes it it. That's what gives it its structure. What stone are you standing on? We go from gods to the God. Guys, there's a lot of things you can worship. There's a lot of things. But the God is set apart. It's far different. So who are you asking? Who's in your life? Who can you talk to? We all look to make those wise choices. But I think if we're not careful, we make choices that we regret. Choices we don't have to. Choices we'll learn from, which is okay. But it doesn't have to go there. Wisdom is saying, you can make a wise choice. You can have a seat, as Rob said, at the table to choose what is good, choose what is right, choose what is healthy, choose what is wise. But it does matter who you're asking. Would you pray with me, please? Lord, I just ask that you would give us a chance to really make better decisions and better choices. I pray that you would give us insight as to who those people are to help us make better choices. I pray that you would help us understand that we are not designed to do life alone. I pray that you would help us understand that we are not designed to try and make decisions that are just fast and hurried or rushed, that we can be patient, that we may not get a response through a phone call or through a text within 30 seconds, that we don't have to feel insecure or insignificant because someone's not responding right away, we don't have the answer right away, but that, Lord, true wisdom takes time, true wisdom takes you, true wisdom takes understanding just to be patient and wait for your voice to reveal what is next, to reveal what is true, to reveal what is wise. So allow us to be strong in that. As we head into groups tonight, allow us to see what Nebuchadnezzar was able to learn, what he did, all because he learned, Father, that you are the one wise counselor, the rock, the redeemer, the cornerstone. Lord, we love you. Help us understand who we are asking. So in your wonderful name we pray these things. Amen.
Worthy of every song.
verse together. I will build my life.
Your voice.
will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be
Let's lift our voices. Come on.
Come on, y'all. Wasn't tonight a good night? I said, wasn't tonight a good night? So what y'all know we got coming up? We got winter retreat coming up. All right, all right. Hey, you three right here. Hey, you three. Hey, I want you to stay over there. I'm going to talk to you after, you three over there. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, we got winter retreat coming up. It's going to be thebomb.com. Are y'all ready? Who's signing up tonight? Who going to sign up tonight? I don't hear y'all. Andy, you said you're not coming right there? Andy, you said you're not coming? Andy, you said you're not coming?